Hey troops, GeneralJSmith here, back with another comparison, and this time I've got the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter versus the TIE Striker. On the left, we have the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter, set number 75101, ages 8 to 14, comes with 517 pieces, and was retailing last year for £60 or $70, although I am pretty sure you can get it considerably cheaper by this point. Versus, on the right, the TIE Striker, which technically isn't going to be released for another 3 days, set number 75154, ages 8 to 14, comes with 543 pieces, and is also retailing for £60 or $70. Now, disregarding the fact you probably can get this a bit cheaper now, this, if anything, is one of the most fair, unbiased comparisons I've ever done. Because, if anything, these are the closest sets imaginable. Both of these sets you can buy right now, and of course, as I said, you can get this a little cheaper. Let's just say you can get them both retail. They are both from their respective films, which are in the future, in terms of, and when these first came out, we had no idea about how they'd appear, what they'd really look like in the films, and of course, they're both from Force Friday. They've both got 4 minifigures each. I mean, just, there's so many similarities between these sets, it's just unbelievable. And of course, they are both TIE Fighters, so yeah, other than, of course, like, I don't know, the 30, 40 year difference, these effectively are some of the closest sets I have, quite frankly. They are just so similar in every way, and of course, you can still buy both of them, which makes this comparison, in my opinion, a very good comparison to do. So, this comparison, of course, is to see to you which one should you buy if you want to buy one of them, and if you can only buy one of them. Personally, I'd probably recommend buying both of them because I think they're both pretty sick. But if you can only buy one of them, which one should you buy? Let's find out right now by starting off with this lineup of pretty badass minifigures. The assortment of minifigures we get in these two sets are quite nice, and they both have their own share of exclusive minifigures. For example, the Special Forces TIE Fighter has these two pilots, which I believe are exclusive to this set, although I'm not 100% sure on that. I've got to be completely honest with you guys, I don't entirely remember what other sets these guys came in, but I feel like they did come in another set. If they did, please leave it down in the comments, but at least at the time, I'm pretty sure all these minifigures were exclusive, although of course I know you can get this minifigure in another set now. I can't for the life of me remember what set you can get him in, but I do know you can get him in another set. And I'm not sure if you can get him in another set, although I do know there are definitely variants of him you can get, probably with different face printings and, you know, tones and stuff like that. Still, nice addition. Of course, one thing difference between these two fighters is the fact the Special Forces TIE Fighter comes with 2 seats for 2 pilots. Now, of course, when I did my review of the TIE Striker, link to that will be down below, by the way, I thought from the design of it there was going to be 2 pilots as well, you know, one in the back, one in the front, simple. And when I saw the preliminary pictures, I thought maybe these were both 2 pilots as well. In reality, of course, I know this is a ground crew, this is a pilot, so that's just a little difference right there. Now, that being said, of course, because this has 2 slots for minifigures, for, you know, pilots, that means there are only 2 other places for people who aren't pilots, more or less. Now, while these pilots, personally, are some of my favorite pilot minifigures, especially with the tubing coming down from the helmet, a very nice addition, can I say. In all honesty, you know, they're not exactly the biggest draw of the set, in my personal opinion. Quite frankly, if there were more First Order Starfighters, then definitely. But the thing is, the only Starfighter I can recall right now we've had from the First Order is, of course, the First Order TIE Fighter. So it's not as if you can use them in many other sets as well, so you don't really want to build a massive army of these guys. Although that being said, a lot of people are building First Order armies, and a lot of them do have several TIE Fighters, so I suppose it's nice that you get to a few of them, but it does kind of restrict your possibility for different kind of minifigures. Still, he's a nice minifigure, although we've seen other variants of him before, and we've had him as well in other sets. Relatively basic, although at the time, pretty nice. The TIE Striker, of course, had the Shore Trooper, a very nice trooper. We may see him again in future sets. Of course, again, when I'm doing this comparison, this set technically isn't even out yet, so I can't really fairly say that, oh, this is an exclusive minifigure, because it may very well come out in other sets in the future. But at this point, this is a completely new figure, completely exclusive, and it is a very nice trooper as well. By the way, in the comments of my review of the TIE Striker, someone said the reason his arm is blue is because he has a pauldron or something, like I don't know what's called, as like plating or something. What's it called? So armor, that's what I meant to say. Armor, which is sort of bluish, this kind of wing. If that's true, then that's kind of cool, but you know, we'll see more in the film. We have Ground Crew, of course. We've never seen him before, or anyone like him. In fact, we've never really seen any Ground Crew in Star Wars universe at all, so it's pretty nice to get. With the pilots, who I will say I prefer these pilots, I've got to be honest, although this pilot is very nice. Another thing that was left in the comments, by the way, this helmet came in the UCS TIE Fighter, apparently, so that's a nice little addition. And we have a Rebel Trooper, who we probably will be getting next year in the battle packs. Still, it's nice to get a new one. That's very cool. So, all in all, as you may be able to guess from my tone already, the winner of the minifigure selection here, by the way, this is not a review of these minifigures or the sets, link to both of the reviews will be down in the description, just a comparison. the winner would definitely have to be the TIE Striker in terms of minifigures. I mean, while the minifigures here are a nice selection, these pilots, personally, I think are some of the best pilots we've ever had in LEGO. And yeah, it's cool to get these guys, but, you know, you've kind of seen them in other sets. Overall, we've got the Shore Trooper, we've got the Ground Crew. Yes, a lot of these minifigures aren't incredibly useful, but I mean, I love to get new Rebels. I love to build my Rebel army. I love the fact that these Rebels do look significantly different, and I do hope the fact we will get them in a battle pack. And the pilot, while we have seen him before, he only ever really comes in the UCS TIE Fighter, which of course is very expensive. I mean, yes, of course, we have seen many other pilots very similar to him, but this is the best printing we've had as of yet. But you know what I mean. So overall, I think you can agree that the TIE Striker really has to take it for the minifigures. That being said, let's go now and go into the actual sets themselves. Of course, because these are both variants of the TIE Fighter, they both share a lot of similarities in their design, one of which of course being the colour and the just general design of the cockpit. The cockpit pieces of course is the exact same as we get in all TIE Fighters, and the colour is of course a lot of black and a lot of grey, as is the classic TIE Fighter thing. Now again, as I've said, this is not a review. Links to the reviews of these sets will be down in the description. It's a quick comparison. Going over the features, I suppose this one doesn't really have a particularly main feature. Of course, the main feature of this would be the flaps go up, sorry, not the flaps, the wings go up and down, but I suppose this one doesn't really have a really main feature, other than of course the cockpit does open, but that is to be expected. And as I said, it does have two cockpits, one in the front, one in the back, and of course we have that classic scene in The Force Awakens where Finn and Poe steal one of these and use it to pilot away. By the way, we have to excuse the ring of dust around there. Yeah, it's been a long since I've held this. Anyway, but yeah, it does have three opening flaps, of course, for easier access, so you can put Finn in there and you can put Poe in the front as well. And of course, they don't come with those minifigures, but you know, still, you can put them in there if you have them. Anyway, the design of it, very nice, of course, very reminiscent of the actual design in Star Wars. And I've got to say, I do very much love the design of this cockpit piece at the back, especially how you can see through it. And while it is red, you know, it's still transparent, or at least translucent, you know, sort of see-through, so you can actually see the cockpit, even if it is quite hard. So technically you can see my hand in the back there. Cool, right? Anyway, but yeah, very nice design. Of course, in the bottom here we have the spring-loaded shooters. We do have spring-loaded shooters in this one, although as I said in the review, it's a little annoying how they kind of stick out. So if you hold it from the bottom, you can very easily accidentally flick these and they go flying. This is of course not a problem with this. I mean, they do stick out a little at the back, as you may be able to tell there. Unfortunately, I don't have any with me. Oh no, I do, sorry. They're right here from the review I just did. Anyway, so you can put them in, and they do kind of stick out at the back there, as you can see, although when you're holding it, it is significantly more difficult to accidentally flick them out. Do that? Woody-woo. I don't know what that was. Anyway, so it is significantly easier to hold it from any sort of position, whereas with this one, it's a little more tedious, and I kind of wish it was more built into the actual cockpit. That would have been nice, but then again, the cockpit may have been oversized then, so I don't know. Still, as I said, the main feature of this set is, of course, the fact you turn these knobs up and the wings flap up, like so. Simple, right? Pretty sick. Now, in all honesty, I can't really have a go at LEGO for not having a particularly main feature on this set, or having a particularly main feature on this set, because it's not really LEGO, it's more the design of the vehicle in Star Wars. The reality is this just has more features to it in the actual Star Wars universe, and can just do some pretty sick stuff. I cannot wait to say in the new film coming out later this year. Still, of course, you can see the size difference in terms of actual wingspan is considerable. Yeah, this is wider, significantly wider, in fact, than the Special Forces TIE Fighter. In fact, this is quite frankly larger in pretty much every single way, other than maybe height that way. But, yeah, really, of course, we do have a bit of red on the Special Forces TIE. I've got to stop saying TIE Fighter, they're both TIE Fighters. Anyway, there's a bit more red on the Special Forces TIE Fighter, of course, to go with the thing. And I've got to say, as I said in the review, which you can check out if you want, if you've watched it, I actually do prefer the design of this to the design of the classic TIE Fighter, because, well, I suppose I love red. Hey, I've said it before and I'll say it again, red's my favourite colour, and I love the way it goes with the black, I love the grey, and I just love all of it, alright? I think it looks, sick. Quite frankly, I just think it looks badass. Still, this one also looks very badass, as I said in the film, and quite frankly, I'm going to find it very difficult to choose between these. I mean, it is somewhat difficult to say which one is better representation of the vehicle, mainly because I haven't really seen this in the actual film as of yet. But as a design, I'm finding it difficult, but I suppose more for the playability, I'm going to kind of go with the TIE Striker as kind of more playable, kind of just the better set to get, as in not including the minifigures, not including anything else, just it seems like a better kind of LEGO model, I suppose. But then again, you know, I can't really blame LEGO massively for that. It's just the fact that this has more features in the Star Wars universe, more stuff it can do. So yeah, still, of course, it has its problems, as I went over in the review, which you may have just seen as my last video. And yeah, really, that's more or less it to my quick comparison of these two sets. Very nicely designed, but I suppose I do slightly like the design of this a bit more. Just because, while I do like the design of this more than the classic TIE Fighter, it is, you know, quite classic. I mean, again, I'm not bashing the classic TIE Fighter. The classic TIE Fighter is great, but, I mean, you know, this one's more different. I like different stuff, basically. I like stuff that looks different, more or less. That was the most simple thing I've ever said. Anyway, but there we go then. Let's move on to the instructions and then include my comparisons. So the instruction manuals, as you can see, are a significant difference, which is quite curious considering they are the same price and very similar piece counts. Nonetheless, of course, the Special Forces tie, we have in the back the old classic Win thing, and we have the sets from that line. Of course, this was the first Force Friday. I remember going down at Toys R Us, and in fact, you can even watch a video of that on my channel as well, the first Force Friday I went to, and it was a lot of fun. I very much did enjoy picking these sets up. Nonetheless, you can see a review of that on my channel as well, and of course, at that time, you could go to the website. The website now looks different. You go to the website and get a poster of some sort, I believe. That's cool. And of course, you have the line of sets from that line. I got every single one of these sets apart from those two. So, sorry about that. Although, at some point, it would be nice if I got Kylo Ren's shuttle at some point, but who knows if that will happen. Nonetheless, we also have the minifigures here, of course, from that line. Very cool. The features, such as the spring-loaded shooters, which I said, and of course, you do have the two pilot thing, and you can go in there very nicely. Pretty damn sick. And we have the 2 pages of inventory, so that's pretty nice. I don't really know, I can't really give you a good explanation to why the instruction manual itself is smaller. I mean, I guess if you like to save space, then it's better, but it's really not the biggest deal in the world. We have 52 steps of building and 69 pages, so that's that, pretty nicely. I think it came with 5 or 6 bags. I don't for the life of me remember. It doesn't say, but I think it came with 5 or 6. I don't entirely remember. I know this came with 5 bags. Opening it up, of course, you're on the back with the 2 pages of inventory. Similar thing, although I suppose this has a few more pieces because, you know, bigger pages or something. I don't know. Anyway, and of course, we have the new updated, a year older Lego site where you got the new features, you know, Force Builder, and you can do new stuff now. And the art, which I've got to say, I'm sorry, but that art does look a lot better. It looks sick, in my personal opinion. It just looks freaking awesome. With all the minifigures and just all that. I cannot wait to get Krennic's shuttle at some point, but we'll see what happens there. Nonetheless, and of course we have the entire set lineup from this line. Again, I will not be getting the U-Wing anytime soon, and I probably won't be getting Krennic's anytime soon. Hopefully I will get it closer to Christmas, but after this comparison you'll see the AT-ST review, and then that'll probably be it to this line. I am sorry, I mean maybe see a few more comparisons. I'm probably going to compare that to the Snowspeeder, but that'll probably be it for this line. I am sorry, but yeah. And of course you have the minifigure lineup for this line as well. Very nice. And we have 174 steps and 98 pages. So that's actually quite curious. I don't entirely remember why this seemed longer or something in this set, especially considering it only has 30 more pieces. I mean, I do remember this build is definitely a lot more fun because this one, of course, made you ×2 on the wings. The wings are quite large sections, so it's kind of tedious to do it twice, although, of course, it's not Lego's fault, it's the design of the vehicle. Nonetheless, nice instruction manuals, I suppose. That's more or less it. Again, I don't really know why this one's particularly bigger. This seems also a bit more bulky. This is for sort of harder cardboard almost. Not really cardboard, but yeah, it's a harder instruction manual. This one's a lot more sort of flimsy paper type thing. Not that that's a big difference. Of course, no one buys the sets for the instruction manuals. I just want to compare them because I could. Still, let's go now and conclude my comparison of the first Special Forces TIE Fighter versus the TIE Striker. Thank you for watching my comparison of the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter 75101 versus the TIE Striker 75154. As I've stated in both the reviews of these sets, I think these are both very nice sets and very good variants of the TIE Fighter. Definitely worth picking up if you can. But the problem is the price for both of these sets is the same, and it's both times overpriced. They both have about 500 pieces, and they should be retailing for about $50, maybe $60 at a push. Now, fortunately, both of these sets I'm pretty sure will go on sale, and this one of course already has gone on sale and has been on sale for a little while now. Of course it is a year old, and I'm pretty sure the same thing will happen to this. This will almost definitely go on sale as well. Still, it would be nice if we could get them a little cheaper at retail value, especially if you want to build an army of them. Fortunately, however, as I said, on eBay or other sites, I'm almost definitely sure you can buy quite a few of these in bulk for a cheaper price if you want. Now, really, when comparing these sets, there isn't a massive amount to compare because they are in many ways very similar. And of course, that is kind of the reason I did this comparison at all, because they both are they're both Force Friday sets. I don't know, I could write an entire list of the similarities between these sets. Of course, the fact they're both TIE fighters of some sort is a massive plus as well, the massive comparison right there. But still, both are very nice sets and both worth picking up. But if you can only buy one, which one should you buy? Well, in a nutshell, if you've been watching this comparison, you may have noticed that I have said, minifigures-wise, I think this is the best set. And also, set-wise, I think this is probably a nicer set because of the wings and streamlined. I think it looks badass. So, it'll be no surprise when I say the winner is the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter.
Say what?
No, in reality, I'm not joking. Believe it or not, despite the fact I actually like the design of this set more and I like the minifigures more, I would actually say I'd recommend this set over this set, which I know sounds odd. And I'm not just saying that because you can get this cheaper now, but I'm also saying because I feel more for a kind of broader sort of thing. If you just want to buy a single Lego Star Wars set, and you're not massively into one thing, like if you're massively into the Empire, then of course buy this set. But if you're just sort of looking for something maybe for a child, or if you're just, a kind of casual Star Wars fan, if you will, then I've got to be honest, I'd recommend this set entirely, because this one is just not known. Even with the new film coming out, I don't feel this will become incredibly known, almost like the TIE Defender. I mean, I think this will be more common than the TIE Defender, because that was a completely expanded universe, but still, I don't feel this is going to be incredibly known, set incredibly iconic. I just don't. Maybe it will, I might be wrong, I don't know. Of course, the film has not come out yet, but I just don't feel it will. And this one captures the sort of, if you will, the modern TIE Fighter kind of thing, and I really do think this is something you can shelf, and it would look a lot cooler on a shelf, almost, if you know what I mean. Although this one does look very close to the Batwing, although if you want the Batwing, then get the Batwing, really. Still, I think both of these sets are very nice. Personally, I prefer this set, but I'm just speaking in a more broader way. If you want to buy one of these sets, and of course you don't have either of them, I suppose I'd probably recommend this the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. That's just a long title, jeez guys. Anyway, that is it to my comparison. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope you found it entertaining in some way. But yeah, leave down in the comments which one of these sets you're going to get. Maybe you have both of them, maybe you want to get both of them. Either way, leave it down below, and also leave down in the comments future comparisons you want to do, because, in the beginning of these comparison series, I only did comparisons that were suggested to me, but then I kind of ran out of suggestions, so I just started doing comparisons I wanted to do. So feel free to leave any of your comparison ideas down in the comments, and you may very well get it done, and I'll shout you out and all good stuff. Anyway, until the next comparison, which will probably be of the Snowspeeder versus the new set, what's it called? The Hover Tank, there we go. Until then, however, I will see you in another video. Bye, troops. Hey troops, GeneralJSmith here, back with another comparison, and this time I've got the 2015 TIE Fighter Special Order First Order TIE Special Forces. Nailed it. Back with another comparison, and today I am comparing versus the TIE Striker. This comparison is actually quite special. Considering they are the same set, not the same set. God, they're so similar, I'm calling them the same set now.